Dear friends, there are two poems as part of the English leaflet. One is by a US political scientist, Professor Norman Finkelstein. The title of the poem is I Am Israel. So that poem, being a poem, comrades might not have found out a suitable person to translate it. So that is not translated and given. Maybe there could be poets among the journalists who can try. That's a very powerful and gripping poem. Then there is another poem by Faiz for Palestinian children. When I read that poem for Palestinian children, I was reminded of another poem by world-renowned poet Nisar Khabani from Syria. He also discusses children with stones in Palestine. That is the title of Nisar Khabani's poem. You see, here is a people mostly unarmed, and for decades we have been hearing about small children coming and throwing stones in protest. You see, it is very important for our society and media to discuss the real issues associated with the Palestinian question. This leaflet gives a very brief summary about Palestinian question. Many mainstream media in different parts of the globe, including our country, refuses to recognize a fundamental truth that Palestinian people are still waging their freedom struggle that is not yet been succeeded. We in India waged a freedom struggle against Britishers. And Palestinian area was also under British mandate after First World War, from 1922 to 1948. Before that, Palestinian people didn't have freedom. They were under various, rulers, whether it's Ottoman rulers or later British rulers. So if we look at the map of this area before 1948, there is a map of National Geographic. You will find Palestine. You will not find any Israel written there. So up to 1948, it was Palestinian land. That is why Mahatma Gandhi said, on two occasions Mahatma Gandhi had specifically spoke about Palestine, in 1938 and 1948, the year Mahatma Ji was martyred. That year also Mahatma Ji spoke about Palestine. And there was no difference between the stand taken by Mahatma Gandhi on Palestine, new independent Indian government on Palestine, and today we, members of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, our position continue to be the same. Of course, today we say that Israel is a reality, so we recognize that. But Palestinian nation state should be recognized, and there should be a land for Palestine. That is not yet there. 1948, there was UN resolution. Without going into details, of course, that's not relevant here. But this particular point, that Palestine is waging a freedom struggle now, that many papers don't recognize. It is so shocking. This is the point I want to underline. And for Israel exists for 75 years, from 1948 till now. But Palestine was not created. The UN resolution of this month, November 29th, 1947. That UN resolution envisaged creation of Israel, creation of Palestine, then keeping Jerusalem separate. That was the content of UN resolution. That is, only part of that was implemented. That is, Israel was created. Rest was not created. Now the point is that even in that UN resolution there was injustice. At the time of the UN resolution, in the entire Palestine, Palestinians were more than 2/3 of the population. And Jews were less than 1/3 of the population. But in division of land, 58% land. I mean, 1% this way, that way, there are still disputes. But 58% of land, that too most valuable, fertile area of land was earmarked for Israel. That was 1948 UN resolution. But what is the present reality? Technically, it has been reduced to 22% for Palestine now, and even that 22% is under the occupation of Israel. When Yasser Arafat was there in Ramallah as the head of Palestinian movement, if you wanted to visit Yasser Arafat in Ramallah, you have to take Israeli visa. That still continues. Anyway, I don't want to go to any further detail. So this tradition of our country, standing with Palestinian liberation struggle, the name of their organization is Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO. Hamas emerged in Gaza in 1987 only, when for decades and decades together, Palestinians were denied their rightful piece of land. Militant organizations emerged, and Hamas is a militant organization. In Indian freedom struggle also there were militant organizations. It was not just the movement under Mahatma Gandhi. There was Surya Sen. There was, people in UP went and robbed bank to generate funds to buy arms. All this is part of freedom struggle. Every freedom struggle, there would be many streams. You may approve some, you may not approve. So now Narendra Modi is speaking. Rahul was telling me today also, I could not read all the papers. In online G20 summit, he was speaking about extremism and innocent people being killed. After the October 7th incident of the very astounding action by Hamas, the so-called invincible Iron Dome protection of Israel was broken by Hamas. Very unfortunately, many innocent people were also killed in the action of Hamas. No doubt, we cannot approve that. But as UN Secretary General said, what happened on October 7th was not in a vacuum. There is a context. What was that context? Our party Central Committee, in fact, 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago, discussed it. In the year 2023, this year, from January till October 6th, 248 Palestinians were murdered by Zionists, Israeli militia, and their armed gangs of Zionists, including 40 children. It's a horrible violation. So, this is something happening in the eyes of the world today. Most gruesome attacks and atrocities. This Gaza is turned into a concentration camp. Hospitals have been bombed. All those details we have been reading in the papers. And the government of India in United Nations General Assembly on 28th of October, when majority countries of the world voted for a resolution demanding ceasefire and immediate medical assistance, government of India not voting, India government's representatives not voting for that ceasefire and immediate medical attention actually shocked the world. This is the policy of Narendra Modi, because now Narendra Modi and RSS identifies with Zionism and Netanyahu. And it is a big contradiction. When Jews were persecuted in German concentration camp, what was the position of RSS? When Jews were victims under Nazi Germany, Goldwalker wrote that what Hitler does in Germany for the final solution, solving the minority question in Germany, this is a model for us. Now, when the same victims under Nazi Germany, they are behaving like Nazi Germany towards Palestinians, then Narendra Modi is supporting Zionists who are following the Nazi policy. Now, I conclude by saying that, as we know, some understanding has been arrived at. That is not temporary, that is not formally started working also. 4-day ceasefire, exchange of people who are under custody. Hamas apparently has agreed to release some hostages, as against the promise that Palestinians in Israeli jail, they would be released. Then future possibility would be explored, whether the 4-day ceasefire would be continued or not. There are efforts to work this out. Though this is too late, we hope that this would work. And there is a very important lesson. This temporary possible truce, which has not yet been effected, this situation has been created by the solidarity movement in the world. In America, where Jews play a very important political role, even in American politics, there one group of Zionist Jews are there, but thousands and thousands of ordinary Jews, they came out in demonstration saying that Israel should not do this in our name. Don't take our name when you do this inhuman atrocities. They want Joe Biden also, not in the name of Jews. Such atrocities can be committed in Gaza. Then in London, in Paris, in Germany, everywhere. In Israel parliament, the Communist Party members in Israeli parliament, they demanded that what you are doing is wrong. There is a lesson for you media friends also. When October 7th incident happened, the third largest circulated newspaper in Israel wrote an editorial saying that this October 7th incident is squarely the result of the wrong policies of Netanyahu. Will our purpose in our country will have the courage to criticize the ruling forces so strongly. So certain democratic forces operate in different parts of the globe, including in Israel. And in India too, we organize a lot of solidarity activities. So some people say, what's the point in organizing this solidarity work and all that? Why do you do this? There is an impact. I don't say the role of various countries is not important in this expected settlement. That settlement has not been finally. There is a, I found Qatar External Affairs Ministry statement is there. Some understanding is reached. So this particular leaflet will give people clarity on so many issues. So I hope this will be widely discussed, studied and propagated. Thank you very much. Over to Comrade.
Sir, one thing. So you say that Palestine has stood very silent when
Pardon?
Israelis.
Pardon?
Palestine stood silent when Israelis are fighting. Israelis are giving their force to them, trying to force them for some violence. They are Hamas.
No.
Whether Palestine has stood silent, Palestine
No.
has not done anything.
You see, Palestinian, October 7th, there was action by Hamas. October 7th, there was action by Hamas. But that action is not in a vacuum. That is what Secretary General of United Nations said. Before October 7th, you see, I have only mentioned 2023, this year, 248 Palestinians were murdered, including 40 children, by Zionists. If you take after 1948, what happened in 1948 is stated as Nakwa. What is the English translation? A great tragedy. This Ariel Sharon led a massacre in Sabra Shatila in Lebanon. You see, thousands of children, women, they were killed by Zionists. There are any number of, and there are Zionists who don't want even Israeli government to negotiate with Palestine. Why I say so? 1993, there was Oslo Accord. That Oslo Accord was signed from Israel by Rabin, the Prime Minister. He was murdered by Zionist extremists within 2 years. So it's a long story, long history. Let us not go into all those details. Thank you.